So in this video, I'm going to be showing you the types of products that you should and shouldn't be selling as a beginner in 2024. But I'm also going to be showing you the fundamentals that you need to understand to make sure that your product is a success. So these are the same fundamentals that we teach and we apply to our business, where we've done over $3 million in revenue across 2 brands in 2023. And without these fundamentals, it doesn't matter how amazing you think your winning product is, it's not going to do well. Because selling products on Amazon is a little bit like baking bread, which I absolutely hate, by the way. You need the key ingredients. You need the flour, you need the water, you need the yeast, you need a little bit of salt. You then need to mix all those ingredients in the right way. You need to knead the dough properly, and then you need to give it time to rise. Now, if you miss one ingredient or you don't follow the process properly, you're going to end up with hard, flat bread that breaks your teeth. And Amazon FBA is no different. Your product might be amazing, but if you don't have the other ingredients and you don't follow the right process, it's not going to be a success. You could give the same 5 Amazon sellers the same product and the exact same budget, but if 4 of those sellers are beginners and they don't know how to bake Amazon FBA bread, they're going to be a flop. The one seller that has experience and understands how to bake the bread properly is going to have a successful product. Because here's the truth. An expert Amazon seller can sell almost any product, because they know how to balance every ingredient correctly to make their Amazon bread soft and delicious. So before I go into the types of products that I think you should stay away from and the types that I think you should focus on, let's take a look at these fundamentals that are going to help you bake a lovely loaf of FBA sourdough. And then I'll shut up talking about bread, I promise. So I'm not going to go super in-depth on these fundamentals because I've got other videos that do that, but these are almost as important as the product itself. So the first fundamental is pricing. If you don't understand how pricing impacts your sales, you're going to have a bad time. The reality is, right, that Amazon is a marketplace where you're competing against thousands of other sellers in every single category. And in general, the best-selling products are usually the cheapest. Now, this doesn't mean that you need to be the cheapest product on the market, because trying to do that is going to kill your margins. But you need to understand that you can't launch a product and sell it for $40 if everybody else in the niche is selling for $20. It's just not going to work. The second fundamental is your budget. You need to forecast how many units you need to sell in order to rank organically on the front page. And by that, I mean when somebody searches for burrito blankets, your product appears at the top without having to pay for advertising. And if you can't afford at least 3 months worth of stock based on that forecast, you're going to really struggle to launch your product successfully. You've got to understand, right, that the first 4 to 8 weeks, you're more than likely not going to make any profit at all. So you can't rely on that money that comes back into the business to fund your second order. So you can't rely on profit from your first order to fund your second order. This is why having the correct budget for the size of niche that you're looking to go into is so damn important. Now, the third fundamental is listing and brand design. It needs to be so damn good, it makes you want to slap your mama.
Yeah, boy. Hey, mama. What the hell you want with?
I don't know if anyone remembers that movie but me, but I always found that clip hilarious. Anyway, my point here is that you need to understand how to create a top-class listing that maximizes your conversion rate and stands out versus your competition. Now, this is one of the biggest differences between beginners and pros. The ability to make a high-converting listing and a brand that looks incredible. Now, the last fundamental that you need to understand inside out is how to do a proper product launch so that you rank for as many keywords as you can on that front page. Another difference here between beginners and pros is that beginners think a product launch only lasts 2 weeks. Pros understand that it can take months to launch and rank a new product. So you need to understand exactly how to do that, which I will cover super in depth in another video. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, what are you waiting for? So my overarching point here hopefully makes sense. Your product selection is very important, but almost equally as important is your execution. But now that you understand these execution fundamentals, let's take a look at some examples of products that I believe you should avoid, and then on the flip side, the types of products that you should be looking into. So first up, I believe you should be avoiding products where it's very difficult to understand exactly who the customer is. So let me explain what I mean. So let's imagine you want to sell door hinges because you've seen them on Helium 10 and you can see there's a lot of demand and a lot of people making money. But how the feck do you know who's interested in buying door hinges? It might be a person that's just really into DIY, or maybe they are just buying it out of necessity. They might be 35 or they might be 55. Might be a man, might be a woman, might be a grandma, might be a granddad. This is a commodity type product that's going to be massively impacted by price, where the only real way to win is through brute force, competitive pricing, and volume. And to show you the flip side of this, where you should be looking to build brands and sell products where you can clearly define who the customer is, I want to show you a brand that 1010% knows exactly who their customer base is and how to appeal to them. So I know from our YouTube data, right, that 90% of our channel viewers are men. Sorry about that one, ladies. But I wonder how many of you have heard of this brand, Dude Wipes. So this product is basically wet wipes, marketed specifically towards dudes. So they're doing millions in sales on Amazon every single month. And they're a great example of why I believe the more defined your target customer is, the easier it is to sell things to them. So Dude Wipes, they knew exactly who they wanted to sell to, and that helped them craft the brand name and do all of the marketing around the product and the brand. Because the product is essentially the same as any other wet wipe. It's just got a different name and different packaging. So I'm not saying that you can't get rich selling door hinges, but I believe that the first types of products that you should be attracted to are the ones where you can clearly define the customer, because that makes everything else so much easier. So the next type of product that you should stay the hell away from are products that have got a high Amazon FBA fee relative to the sales price. So let's take these deck chairs, for example. These are selling for $99, but the total fees on these are nearly $60. So that means 60% of your revenue is gone on Amazon fees before you spent a penny on advertising or the product itself. So if we take a look at Helium 10's profit calculator, and let's imagine that we're getting these for even $13 a piece, you can see that our margin is non-existent. Now, if you compare that to a product like these massage balls, where they're really small and light so that you can fit tons of them into a shipping carton, and their Amazon fees are around $20, and the sales price is the same as the deck chairs. So your sales price is the same, but your fees are $40 less. And your shipping price per unit will be a fraction of the cost. Because for every one deck chair that you can ship, you can probably ship 50 of these massage balls. And a quick look on Alibaba, we should probably be able to get these for between $10 and $15. So even at $20 plus shipping, you can see that our gross margin is around 60%, which leaves us way more room to advertise and make money. So the next product type that I think ideally you should be trying to avoid is anything where the customer only needs that product once and is really unlikely to come back to your brand. Now, an example of this is plastic straws. I'm sure at some stage in your life, you've bought some plastic straws. Or maybe you're one of those hippies that now uses metal straws to pretend that you're saving the environment. Whatever the case is, right? Customers are buying these for one-time use only, or at least most customers are. And that's more than likely the last time you're gonna see them. Now, on the flip side to that, you've got products like this military energy gun. This is a consumable product that people can buy on Amazon's Save and Subscribe feature. So this means that every time a customer buys these, if you do a good job impressing them, they might buy a new box every single month. Now this is the holy grail of e-commerce, recurring revenue. So this is where the big money is made and where the value of your brand really goes up and up and up. Now, as a beginner, some of these niches, they can be expensive to move into, especially in the US. But there's a lot of opportunity in smaller markets like the UK, Germany, and Spain, where you can start small with a top quality consumable product that's going to give you repeat purchases and customer loyalty. And this product ties nicely into my next tip for products that you should be interested in. Look at products that you can source in the US or Europe. So we've got a pet brand, right? And all of our stuff at the minute is sourced in China, which is fine. It's worked well. We did over $1.4 million in sales in 2023. But we want to take this brand to 8 figures. So we're moving into consumable products because of all of the reasons that I mentioned a minute ago. And we're sourcing them in the US. And the reason for this is that it gives us a big edge versus the Chinese sellers. So the Chinese, they're not calling up Farmer Jim in Vermont to ask about his organic pet food. And consumers, they care way more about where a product is sourced if it's something that they put in their body or they give it to their best friend Fido. So I would advise you to think a little bit outside the box and explore product niches where you can source things outside of China. It's not an absolute essential, but it's going to give you a big competitive edge. So those caffeine energy gums that I mentioned a little bit earlier, they're made in the good old US of A. And that's something that you can display loud and proud across all of your listing images. It also means that your shipping costs and times are never impacted by overseas events. So if a shipping carrier gets stuck in the Suez Canal again, the container rates might go nuts. But that doesn't impact you if you're sourcing from Big Jim's farm in Vermont. And that leads me nicely into my last product selection tip. Choose products that are easy to market off of Amazon. So what the hell does that actually mean? Well, remember my example of the door hinges. Can you imagine trying to make a viral TikTok about door hinges? I like to think that I'm pretty creative, but even I would struggle with that. But take a look at this product here from a brand called Top Shelf Grind. So this brand is owned by a fella called Robert Oliver. Robert is a master of viral marketing, mainly with TikTok. He launches all of his products using super viral videos. He's even stole Joe Rogan's voice with AI.
Well, look, that Alpha Grind product that's all over TikTok, if you go to Amazon and you type in libido booster for men, you're going to find it right at the top.
Which I'm not sure was completely legal. So I'm not saying that you should only sell consumables or supplements like Top Shelf Grind, but you should be considering how easy it is for your product to be marketed off of Amazon. Because if you can do that easily, you can drive a lot of free or low-cost external traffic, which Amazon absolutely loves. Now, if anyone sends me a video of a viral TikTok about door hinges, I'm going to eat my hat. All right, so now you're a master of what to sell and what not to sell on Amazon. Go and watch this video I did recently where I talk about how you can survive in the dark, dark world of the future of Amazon FBA.